Hey guys, this is April with the Resellers Learning Curve, and I know that I have already uploaded a video today, but I wanted to record a video about a topic that's been on my heart, that's been in my mind for weeks, if not a couple of months now. I haven't went back to check the details, but I wanted to talk about this. And when I talked about it, I did not want to throw like a caveat into another video because I didn't think it was appropriate. This is something that I want to talk about. It's just a standalone subject. And maybe in the comments, people can let me know if they're interested in talking about it more, because I do think that it matters, and we can take it from there. So several weeks ago, like I said, it may have even been a month or two ago, someone left a question for me in the comments on a YouTube video asking me, what's the point in going through all of the trouble to learn brands and to study and to be out in the streets sourcing and listing and shipping? Why go through all of that if you're then going to turn around and make videos on YouTube and show all the brands you buy and give it all away? Well, in case you did not guess, I do not buy into this attitude, this philosophy of scarcity. And I think that we see that so much, especially in reselling. I suspect that it probably to some level exists in a lot of different industries, but I know for reselling in particular, it's rampant. People believe that if someone else is winning, then I have to lose, or if I'm losing, then somebody else is winning. And I've never bought into that philosophy, and I don't buy into it. I think that if you have that mindset, you're kind of defeating yourself. The way that I've always run my business, and while I'm 100% transparent about most of what I do, I would like to, at least in the spirit of transparency, say that I'm not transparent about a very small percentage of the things that I do. How I move about certain deals and what I accomplish with certain deals, I don't share for business reasons. It's not a personal thing. It's not because I don't want people to know that I won. It's simply that to protect me and my business, which is my source of income, I can't give it all away. But trust and believe that any amount of information, knowledge, experience, strength, and hope that I can share, I'm always willing to share. I think when people buy into this philosophy of scarcity, it's like a cycle. It's a cycle, and it leads to bad things. And I'm just going to give you an example. I know people who attempt really hard to hold on to everything they got. I know resellers, honestly, that will buy stuff allegedly to resell, but then when it really comes down to it, they don't really resell all that much. They are low-key hoarders who use reselling as a cover-up for the hoarding. That's neither here nor there. I'm just saying that I know people who do things for a lot of different reasons. But what I've seen through my life experience is that when you try to hold on to something so much, you don't leave yourself open to receive. You don't leave yourself open for opportunity. You don't leave yourself open for what some people would say, I'm not a religious person, but blessings. You don't leave yourself open for that when you're trying really, really hard to hold on to whatever it is that you have. In this case, we're talking about knowledge. We're talking about resources. We're talking about education. We're talking about skill. We're talking about something that, quite frankly, I could make YouTube videos all day. I could talk about every brand that I've ever sold, and someone could go out there today and try to replicate exactly what I do, and they would have no luck at it, no success. And here is the main reason that I'm making this video. I want you guys to understand that the way you do things is going to be the way you do things. I want you to know and to feel and to believe that what's for you is for you, is meant for you, is not meant for anyone else. I know for a fact that I've mentioned at least a dozen times on this very channel that I've walked into a thrift store that's just crawling with resellers. And the town where I used to live, Boardman, crawling with resellers all the time. I mean, you could walk into the store and at one time there could be 10 other resellers in the store. I never, ever, ever got caught up in the game of going after what everybody else was looking at. Whatever that high ticket thing is that everybody wants to ooh and ah at, I don't get into that. That's not mine. It's enough people going for that. What I do is I focus on the opportunity for myself. And you would be amazed at the things that I've been able to find by focusing on myself and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and not paying a lot of attention to outside forces. And a huge outside force can be this idea that if somebody else is winning, then we have to lose. Guys, that's not the way it is. It's just not. And I'm going to tell you where I learned this and how I learned this. If you did not know before today, although once again, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it plenty of times. If you didn't know, I'm a recovering alcoholic. For many years, that's what I did. I drank and I wasn't terribly productive. And in the big book, it says that alcohol will get you 3 places: jails, institutions, and death. And I did the first 2. I'm still alive, so I didn't get to death, but I wasn't far away from it. So as an alcoholic who got sober through the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, I know there's lots of theories on how to get sober. There's lots of ways to get sober. I went through AA. Not for everybody, but it worked for me. Through the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the key principles that I internalized was that you have to give it away to keep it. Think about that for a second. You have to give it away to keep it. So when I make YouTube videos and when I do haul videos, when I'm giving business advice, whatever the case may be, if your question is legitimately, why would you go through the trouble of learning all this information if you're just going to give it away on YouTube? That's why, because I have to give it away in order to keep it. And quite frankly, another thing about this game is, number one, nobody's gonna hit all the same stores that you hit at the same time. You gotta just hit it on a regular enough basis that eventually you're gonna be in that spot to win. Number 2, attitude plays a huge part in this. Huge. And the video that I made earlier today, I talked about my crappy attitude when I got ready to walk into that store. And then I said to myself, girl, bye with that mess. And I turned it around. I said, you know what, any place, any day. And I went in and I found amazing things. A good example of that, I don't know if anybody else out there other than me is a Jeopardy diehard, but I watch Jeopardy almost every single day. Like, never ever call me or try to talk to me between 7:30 and 8 because I'm book solid. I do not take calls. I do not answer texts. I do not respond to Facebook Messenger. I don't do any of those things between 7:30 and 8 because that's Jeopardy time. Well, I was watching Jeopardy today and I saw a young lady whose behavior was so familiar to me, because I recognize so much of myself in, I mean, I can't really call it anything but a downward spiral. Like, that's what I witnessed on Jeopardy today, was a downward spiral. This young lady had several incorrect answers in a row. She was in the negative, then she would get a correct answer and she would be like barely in a positive, like $400. Then she would get a wrong answer and she'd be in a negative again. And you could just literally see her anxiety taking over. And it was to the point that even if she got a right answer, she said the correct answer, she said it with defeat. When you have that attitude, sometimes that attitude will beat you way quicker than your competition. And the truth of the matter is, you don't have no competition. You are your competition. So as Jay Smooth, who was one of my favorite early YouTubers I used to watch, Jay Smooth used to say, man, you gotta tell that little hater to shut up, because that little hater will absolutely keep you down. Nobody's out there trying to beat you. I make these videos because I want to win, but in the process of me winning, I want to see every single one of you guys win. So like I said, anybody else have the question, why do you do all of this work just to give the information away? Your answer is, I give it away to keep it. Hope that answered it. Have a good night. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.